welcome and thank you guys for joining us for our annual Arbor Day celebration, and thank you to the family of L. Brooks Patterson for joining us as we honor him with this tree planting as well today. The City of Rochester Hills has been a Tree City USA community for 31 years now, and for 6 years we've gotten a growth award, so where we go above and beyond the criteria to participate in that program. And so that criteria involves having a Arbor Day celebration like we are today and a proclamation from our mayor. It also involves having a forestry division. We have 3 full-time arborists on staff and a budget dedicated to maintenance of our community canopy, as well as having a tree conservation ordinance for our city to help protect and preserve and enhance our community canopy. So today we're going to be planting a oak tree, a swamp white oak to be specific, and as you can guess, oak trees are native to Michigan in our area and quite a significance to both Rochester Hills and Oakland County on the seals and the logos of both of those communities. So I want to welcome you, and we will have some of the grandchildren of L. Brooks Patterson say the Pledge of Allegiance right now, and then I'm going to pass it over to the mayor. Come on up here and you guys can.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, guys. And now I will pass it to Mayor Barnett.
Well, good afternoon. I'm here by myself. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here, and appreciate you joining us on a little bit of a brisk. I don't know whose idea was to set it up at the end of the lake, but we're feeling it here today. It's a beautiful, brisk day in Rochester Hills. We're honored to have so many members of Brooks's family here, and certainly our team. Would you do me a favor and give a hand to our arborist team? Those gentlemen do a fantastic job. We are blessed in the city. We really are. I was getting to share a little bit about this particular place, Innovation Hills, which is our newest park and something that so many people here are vested in every single day. And what I like to do is just come here, as I did just a few minutes ago, and talk to some of the people that are enjoying it, sometimes for the first time, sometimes they're guests that come every single day. And I mention this because, you know, in life now, it's easy to get caught up in the news. It's easy to get caught up in the challenges of the day, and often we forget about really the natural beauty that we're so blessed to have here in Rochester Hills and in Oakland County. And this spot, to me, is really important. It's one of the things that makes our community different. Every community has roads and buildings and challenges, but when I think about Rochester Hills, and hopefully some of you do as well, you think about the natural beauty. You think about the trees. We have been, as Matt said, a tree city for 31 years. We are intentional and purposeful in the way we try to protect, grow, and enhance the trees in our community because we understand the value that they provide. And today's Arbor Day ceremony is special to me because we wanted to honor and recognize someone else who was intentional and purposeful in the way that he led. You all know Brooks Patterson. Many of you much better than I do with the privilege to grow up with him and to see his leadership even much more closely than I did. But anyone who knows me knows that Brooks is one of the 2 people that I give the most credit to for giving me a chance at leadership and investing in me. Brooks was a friend first, a colleague, and someone that I admired second. But he always took the time to challenge me, to laugh with me. We met a lot of times for lunch to just talk about things, and someone that if he was your grandpa, you should know that he was incredibly passionate about his family. He was incredibly passionate about politics, particularly about people in politics. And he was also really passionate and proud of his county, and we all are and remain as well. I wondered whether today I should start with the ATM joke that you all know so well. I haven't heard it in a couple years, obviously, but I know we could all recite it by heart because it was one of his classics. And if he wasn't sharing that joke, he was talking about the economic vitality of the county. He was talking about the businesses that were coming and the jobs that were created. But if you listened a little bit longer, he would pretty much and always talk about the quality of life in Oakland County and the events and the different things that he would bring, whether it was fire and ice or some of the county parks he was especially proud of, attendance at the different things at the county, the events summer events that were being put on. Well, one that I know that was especially important to him was the Brooksy Way. Special to him, obviously, because of the family connection, because of his son, and the way that event was birthed and named in his honor. And we always considered it an honor to host it in the city. It wasn't always easy. I could count on, when it first started, about 100 calls the day after the race in complaint. By the time we kind of got our swing together, there'd maybe only be 30 or 40. But we knew it was worth it. Because when we'd go on Sunday for the race and we'd see thousands, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people smiling and laughing and high-fiving, and some of them were in great shape, others of them looked like me, but all of them enjoying our city in a unique way. The trails, the Meadowbrook Hall, where I just came from for a tree planting ceremony about an hour ago, to our neighborhoods, and it was a way that our community came together. And Brooks had that vision, and we were benefited and blessed by that because our community was more known and people got to see and understand what it was like out here. And I've run into so many people throughout the summer that I'd see and they'd say, we're training for the Brooksy Way, or we did it last year, we're bringing more people to do it this year. We've done it 5 years in a row, we've never missed, or this is going to be the first year. It became really an event that so many people planned their fall around. And we have Brooks to thank for that. We have Brooks to thank for a lot. So today, I just wanted to take a few moments to just share with his family and to those of you watching how much he meant to me, how much I miss him to this day, how much I still feel like I could get a call from him and he could still ask me out to lunch and we could talk about the challenges. Some of those were often very colorful conversations, but they always were memorable and they always were important to me. I still don't know why he took the time to invest in me that he did, but I'm grateful. And I know that each of you have been touched and blessed by him as well. And so today, on this Arbor Day, we're going to plant a tree. Of course, it's an oak tree. What other tree would it be? In his honor. And then as the park continues to develop later on this spring and summer, this part of the trail here will be dedicated and known as the Brooksy Way. So that as the tens and thousands of people that come to enjoy this park over this year and the years to come will also be impacted by the legacy of Brooks and the Brooksy Way. So thank you all for being here today. I think I am going to turn this over to Mary to give a few comments, and then I'll come back and read a proclamation, and we will plant this tree. So Mary Warner, if you please come forward, Brooks's daughter.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mary Warner. I'm Brooks's daughter. On behalf of my family, I just want to say thank you so much for this invitation to Mayor Barnett for thinking of my dad to do this today on Arbor Day. I often joked with my dad a lot. I got a lot of funny emails from my dad during the day, and I'd write back, aren't you working? Don't you have a job? Don't you have a ribbon to cut or a tree to plant? He had a thing in Oakland County when a new business would form, he'd go and offer a tree and have it planted for the new business. So we always joked like that he was planting trees or he was cutting ribbons. So this is very fitting for him that we're planting a tree in his honor. Brian said a lot of things about my dad that were all very true and all very kind. And the one, my father had 4 children, and we always said the 5th children, his favorite was Oakland County. He loved Oakland County probably the most out of all of us. It was his baby. He took care of it like a child, and he was proud of so many things that Oakland County did. And he would be at things like this every day, shaking hands and talking about the great reasons
why we all want to live in Oakland County. So I appreciate that we're doing this for him today instead of him doing it for somebody else, because it's fitting to give back in the memory of my father. I do want to tell one quick story. So many of you know that my father's youngest child, my brother Brooks, was killed in an accident 14 years ago. And I think a year or so after the accident, my dad got a call from the Detroit Zoo that they wanted to plant a tree in the name of my brother, in honor of my brother. So of course we accepted, and to this day, 13 or so, maybe 13 and a half years ago, I still remember going out there with my kids as babies, and we had aunts and uncles and cousins, and everyone came, and the Detroit Zoo was so kind, and we planted this tree, and it was a little tree like you see here. And 13, 14 years later, there isn't a season that goes by that I don't have a friend that texts me or calls me and says, oh my gosh, I'm at the zoo and I saw a tree with your brother's name on it, and now it's this gigantic, beautiful tree. And every time I go there on a field trip with my kids or something, we find the tree and we take pictures of it, and I'd send it to my parents and say, look at the tree we planted, it's still growing strong. So these things matter, and they do mean a lot to family. And there's no doubt that I have many friends that live in Rochester that I'm going to get a text this summer and next summer, and his grandkids are going to get pictures, and they're going to say, hey, I was out here with my family and I found a tree with your dad's name on it. So I want you to know that those days are going to be really important to me, because I'll be sitting at my computer and I'm going to get a picture of this tree 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, and I'm going to go, yeah, that's right, I was there that day, and thank you, and it'll just give me that smile on my face. So I appreciate you doing that for us, and I hope that all of the grandkids here and the ones that are at school and sporting events right now that couldn't be here, that they'll get that text from a friend eventually down the road. Thank you so much, and I look forward to coming here with my family. I did not know this existed, so this is great for me to come and show the rest of my family what we did here today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate those words. You could tell a lot of great stories, and I'm sure people have continued to tell those stories about the way that Brooks has impacted them, and certainly his impact in our community is great. And this is one small way to recognize that. And you nailed it. This is something that will be here for 50 or 60 or 100 years, and ultimately will be the bookend of this lake, and something that as this becomes kind of a focal point for events in the park, it'll shade, it'll inspire, it'll encourage, it'll probably have youngsters climb, and all the cool things that trees do and provide. And so to be able to do that today is, and I guess because it is Brooks, it will probably grow a little right of center, don't you think? Probably. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of tree jokes, but that's all I've got. But let me go ahead and read this National Arbor Day proclamation in recognition of the Arbor Day here, recognized here in the city of Rochester Hills on April 30th, 2021. It says, whereas the citizens of Rochester Hills value the trees and woodland resources that enhance our city's beauty, and whereas the annual celebration of Arbor Day provides an opportunity for individuals and communities nationwide to recognize that viable, healthy community trees serve many positive purposes. And whereas trees purify air, produce oxygen, conserve soil and water by reducing stormwater runoff, reducing heating and cooling costs for our buildings, moderate air temperature, and provide food and shelter to wildlife. And whereas trees enhance the economic vitality of businesses, add beauty to our neighborhoods and our city, and our renewable resources, providing us with paper and wood for many useful purposes. Now therefore let it be resolved that I, Brian Barnett, Mayor of the City of Rochester Hills, hereby proclaim Friday, April 30th, 2021 as National Arbor Day, and further resolve that I encourage all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day by planting trees to enjoy the beauty and pleasure that they provide. Signed and sealed this day in April. And all of you attending today will have a chance to leave with a tree seedling. The tree seedling, Jerry, is what are we giving out this year? White spruce. So hopefully you love white spruce, because that's what we have today. But at this point, we want to thank you for being here and invite the family to come up as we will begin to, you thought you were just going to watch it be planted, but you're actually going to plant this tree. And I think we'll take some pictures over here as well. So if the family could join me for some pictures, and we'll begin to plant the tree.